Well, you couldn't get a better reception than this if it were the world title itself. And now our MC, Danny Small.
It's an international contest over 12 three-minute rounds between Jose Caba of the Dominican Republic, boxing out of Los Angeles, and Barry McGuigan. Both boys went in this afternoon. Caba went in at 9 stone even. Barry McGuigan went in at 8 stone 12 and 3/4 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Dominican Republic, on my left, in the red corner, Jose Caba. And in the blue corner, from Clones, the British and European Bantamweight champion, Barry McGuigan.
And there is Sandra McGuigan, Barry's wife.
For this contest is Brimble. Your stewards in charge, Derek Monteith. Your inspectors appointed by the BBBFC, Dr. Pot McHugh and Bill Sheeran. Your medical officers in attendance are Paul McKeown and George O'Neill.
12 rounds, eliminator for the world featherweight title. And the Belfast roar continues as we come up to the first bell. McGuigan's 21st professional fight. 19 wins behind him. Just one defeat early in his professional career. And Caba from the Dominican Republic, who only recently was ranked as high as number 3 in the World Boxing Council's ratings. And the singing begins. These fight nights in Belfast are electric. Jose Caba, 26. Almost 2 inches shorter than McGuigan. McGuigan has a long, long reach for a featherweight, 70 inches. That's some 3 inches longer than the average reach for a man of his weight. And this is a fight in which McGuigan clearly has to box his way carefully against this man. Caba is what they call in the States a pressure fighter. He likes to come to you. McGuigan won't have to go looking for him, that's for sure. And he's dangerous. And McGuigan will do well in these early rounds to keep him on the end of that left jab that's beginning to work quite nicely. This is Caba's first fight since October, and that fight was for the WBA Featherweight Championship in Italy. And he went 15 rounds to lose on points against the famous world champion Eusebio Pedrosa of Panama. Pedrosa's 17th successful defense that night, but Caba went all the way with him. And Caba has made an interestingly hesitant start. My impression was that he would come storming in, and he hasn't. Vivid contrast between the bodies of these two men. The pale candle wax appearance of McGuigan, and this swarthy torso of the man from the Dominican Republic, now based in Los Angeles. Carver's own left jab gets to work on the bell. That was a good start by McGuigan, and he's won the opening round. 23-year-old McGuigan, the European and British featherweight champion, voted Boxer of the Year for 1983 by Britain's boxing writers, and regarded in many quarters as Britain's best bet for a world title in the next year or so. But that most certainly depends on what happens here tonight. Caba, a man who has acquired hard United States experience over the last 6 years, including those 2 world title fights. The first back in 1979 against Danny Lopez of the States for the WBC title. Caba was 21 at that time, and he survived only into the 3rd round. It's the only time he's been stopped. Nice sharp start by McGuigan. He wasn't at his peak form when we were here a few weeks ago for his fight with Cham Chituli of Zambia. And he said himself afterwards he was well below his best for that fight. And one of the talking points, of course, that came out of that fight was the number of low blows that McGuigan landed. He got away with it. But a lot of people were rather disturbed to see so many landing low. And that left jab of McGuigan's is doing sterling work. In that world title fight in October, Caba suffered a very bad cut over his left eye, and the scar of it is still quite noticeable. It's about 2 inches long underneath the left eyebrow. That might be why he's making a somewhat cautious beginning here. This place is absolutely seething with excitement. And this is a brilliant start by McGuigan. He's doing all the things right. Mustn't get caught by the right on the bicycle. I know that McGuigan's most ardent supporters were hoping that he'd get his left jab to work early in this fight and that he wouldn't go in and mix it. So they're certainly happy. And that fast jab is controlling the fight in its early stages. And he wasn't slow to seize his opportunity with the right hand. Great start by McGuigan. He's won the first 2. Well, you could hardly ask for a much better start to a fight from McGuigan than this. And that corner will be very happy. Eddie Shaw, the trainer, leaning over him. They'll be well pleased with what they've seen so far. And we can have a look at some of those left jabs going in. This left jab has been the key to the first 2 rounds. Over and over again, he's pumped it away into the face of Caba, and the man from the Dominican Republic has never been able to do anything about it. People are jumping up and down, singing at the top of their voices. It's an amazing spectacle just to watch the audience in this place, let alone what's going on in the ring. And McGuigan hurries from his corner, anxious to get on with it. McGuigan, the new boxing hero of Northern Ireland, born actually south of the border, some 60 miles from here to the southwest, in Clones. He's known as the Clones Cyclone, but he's now a natural British subject. Caba's own left jab, just beginning to warm up. You must make no mistake about Caba. Here's a tough and determined opponent who's not going to be anybody's pushover, believe me. Tried the right uppercut as well, but only just missed. He's putting his punches together neatly. But that left jab is absolutely dazzling. That's the one he has to guard against. That overhand right. McGuigan has won his last 13 fights inside the distance. I wonder if he could do it again. He's moving faster and faster. Beautiful right hand. Stopped Caba in his tracks. And he can hardly do anything wrong at the moment. What a start. He's making Caba look like a tortoise. Never missing a chance to stab that left hand through into the face of this former world title challenger. And Caba is blinking and blinking and blinking again as the left stabs his face. So what a start McGuigan has made in this fight, sponsored tonight by Smirnoff. And this crowd really very happy with what they're seeing. Not so long ago, they were informed that Northern Ireland had lost their football match at Wembley tonight against England, 1-0. They weren't too happy about that, but this has re-roused their spirits. More of the action. And really, there were moments in this round when McGuigan was putting everything together, beautiful combinations, and he had Caba in the corner, and he really worked him over. Well, I imagine this corner must be jubilant, but they know there's a long way to go. It's a 12-round fight, and he really can't afford ever to relax or be complacent. Keep them up. Well, this is a different McGuigan altogether from the man we saw against Chituli those few weeks ago. This is a man absolutely at peak fitness and with a real relish for the job in hand. Caba let another low one slip there with the left. Beginning to get down in a crouch, Caba, to try and avoid these jabs coming at him. Beginning to try and bob and weave his way underneath the stabbing left hand. And when he does, McGuigan has the answer. He brings it up in a little hook, come uppercut. McGuigan still a month away from celebrating 3 years in the professional ranks. And Caba making it just that little bit more difficult by adopting this crouching, bobbing style. Absolutely the right thing, of course, when you've got a left hand like that coming at you. You've got to try and work underneath it. Beautiful. He's picking his moments to stick the right hand in, and it's coming off again and again. Caba trying to pressure his man. And he will, if McGuigan ever lets him get settled. At the moment, he's being kept completely off balance. Four in a row, all McGuigan's. And here's the man who's having to take that left hand. And he's got a lot of work to do, Caba, now, if he's going to win this fight. He must be 4 rounds down. It's a 12-round fight, so he's really got to start working if he wants to have any hopes of winning it, unless he's going to produce something dramatic in the way of a big punch. His best punch, incidentally, is the left hook. When he boxed Pedrosa for the world title in October in Italy, he attacked all the time with 2 hands. He was warned then for low blows and also for being careless with his head. But throughout that fight, he really lacked the boxing skill that Pedrosa had. And this fight seems to be going very much the same way so far. 26 pro fights, Caba, with 3 defeats. That's his United States record. His early record in the Dominican Republic is really very hazy. So, McGuigan on his way to a marvellous win in this vital fight, this eliminator for the World Boxing Council's Featherweight Championship, which changed hands, incidentally, at the weekend when Wilfredo Gomez of Puerto Rico upset the reigning champion Juan Laporte, also of Puerto Rico. And actually, the referee of this fight, Jim Brimmel from Wales, one of Britain's most senior referees, was at that fight in San Juan in Puerto Rico, working as a judge. And he hurried back over the weekend. He was back in Cardiff on Monday, and now here he is in Belfast on Wednesday. So it's been a hectic few days for Jim Brimmel, the referee. That was a nice stabbing right hand, and Caba moved away. He didn't like it. He's blinking again. He's being harried and hustled all over this ring, and he's got nowhere to go. And the left-hand side of Caba's face reddened now, where McGuigan's right hand has come belting at him. And McGuigan is giving his man a very, very complete boxing lesson. He really is. And Caba's got the look of a man who really doesn't know what it's all about. He's being mesmerized by the speed and accuracy of McGuigan's attack. Beautiful double left hand there, one to the head and then straight down into the ribs. Not a smell of success for Caba so far. The jab and the reach. That's what's bringing McGuigan so much success. He's got the 70-inch reach and it's paying off against this short, stocky man. Caba's left eye not bleeding, but looking rather worse for wear. And Mickey Duff goes straight over to Caba, has a look at that eye. Caba, you can see the anxiety in that corner. The swab stick is out, and they're working on it, so it looks as though it may just slightly have reopened. That's the scar from the fight with Pedrosa, the world title fight in Italy in October. Well, once again, McGuigan did everything right there. Look at the way Caba's ducking and diving all over the place to try to keep out of trouble, and wherever he goes, McGuigan finds him. Round 6, and the previous 5, all McGuigan's. Well, what a night to pull it all out, and McGuigan's certainly doing that. Well, you really can't offer too much praise at the moment from McGuigan, because he's handled this man absolutely superbly. He's using his own advantages of speed and reach and using them to the full. And it's a brilliant piece of boxing. But he has to keep it going for a long time yet. We're not yet halfway through. Caba backed up in his own corner and looking very, very vulnerable. Really, McGuigan can't miss him. His own guard coming up to protect himself when Caba attacks. He's got such fast hands tonight. Quicksilver magic. And what a left hook to finish that round with. And just look at the way this crowd is responding to McGuigan. What a place Belfast is. They're standing up, their arms in the air. They've got a hero and they know how to acclaim him. And again, rather anxious attention to Caba's left eye. And so far, he's had almost no success. One or two jabs have got through. He's fought McGuigan a couple of times with the right hand. But for the most part, McGuigan's not been around when Caba's been coming forward. The rest of the time, he's been keeping out of the way himself, or trying to. So we go into the second half of the WBC featherweight eliminator. Barry McGuigan of Belfast. Jose Caba from the Dominican Republic. McGuigan now in the top 10 rankings of the World Boxing Council. And after this performance, assuming he wins, likely to move up in those rankings to quite a high place. The left hook beginning to rip Caba apart. Caba now constantly being trapped in corners against the ropes, blinking away, confused and unhappy. Smear of blood from his left eye. Round 7, another working over for Caba. He doesn't know where he is or what he's doing, and Jim Brimmel is moving in very close to have a look at this. Caba's soaking it all up, and Mr. Brimmel might not let him take too much more. He's a man in a daze. Caba going through some sort of private nightmare here. What an absolutely dazzling display this is from McGuigan. The night of his life and the fight of his life. It's all going right. And Caba again. It's all over. Jim Brimmel's moved in. It's all over. And Caba's rescued. And McGuigan has won a fantastic victory in Belfast. There is no other word for it. That was a comprehensive victory. The man was never in trouble. He totally overwhelmed a dangerous opponent through sheer, brilliant boxing from start to finish. That is a marvellous win, and that's one of the best wins any British fighter's had in recent years, because he never put a foot or hand wrong, and Caba wound up a man in a daze with nowhere to go and not knowing what he was doing. Well, let's live again those marvellous closing moments when McGuigan was really so much on top of his man. He couldn't go wrong with anything. And you can see the referee, Jim Brimmel. He's now making up his mind. Is this the moment to stop it? Because Caba now is just a sitting target there on the ropes. And this was the moment when Jim Brimmel moved in, stopped Caba, and Barry McGuigan became a very hot world title prospect indeed. That's got to be the fight of your life.
Yes, Harry, I'm delighted that I've won that. I won it against such a good opponent in the way that I did. You know, full credit to me manager, Mr. Eastwood. This man has gone out of his way to try and help me to prepare for this fight in the right way. Mr. Eastwood spent somewhere in the region of £7,000 to get over American sparring partners. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them too. You know, I'm delighted. I didn't get off the, as Mr. Eastwood says, what's that you say? You let me off the what? I didn't let me off the lid.
Let's have a look. Barney's with the manager. That was a marvellous performance.
Well, this is the first time he has really shown what we know he can do. The guy is really brilliant. I've always said that. He's the best betting man that Ireland has ever produced, ever. And I mean ever.
A lot of people were worried you might go in and mix it with him. You never did it, did you? You got the job going and it all went well.
I went to instructions. I had a marvellous cornerman, Eddie Shaw, and had help from Bobby McCullough over this time. But I think a lot of credit goes to Eddie for all his superb help and his patience. It's very easy to lose your cool here in this hall. As you know, the crowd is unbelievable. And, I was only too delighted that I held on to my wits and done the job properly.
Terrific job, Barry. I don't know whether they can hear you, but I can hardly hear what you're saying. It's marvellous crowd.
Yes.
What support to get here?
Oh, fantastic. I'd like to take this opportunity again, Harry, to thank Bobby McCullough here, a very famous man from the States. And he's done all the work with me and helped me marvellously. And Mr. Eastwood and Eddie Shaw, they're a great team. And I'm just glad that I lived up to expectations and none what I was told. And thank you again, Harry, for coming over. Thank you.
You're a very modest man. Well done. Terrific. Now, what about the next fight? Barney, what's the next one like?
I'm just really hoarse, so I can't speak. We'll take the next fight as it comes. After tonight's performance, I think he'll defend his European title, probably his British and European title, and if the world champion's about then, we're ready.
Okay. Terrific night. What a